vote for me and I'll set you free.
It's just another word for nothing left to lose. Over me.
Well, you certainly know what that theme song means by now, folks. That's right. It's time for another episode of America Matters. I'm your host, Leo Zacky, with Joshua Matriciana today. We're so glad to have him here with us. He's a great co-host. But before we jump into anything, folks, I want to give a big shout out, hello, welcome, and thank you to everybody out there tuned in on 93.7 KPGF as well as AM 1060. And to everybody out there listening on all the affiliate stations like the Answer Network, the Salem Network, Radio for America, the Kevin Jackson Network, and AUN Television. Thank you so much for tuning in. And of course, a big thank you to everybody on those networks that help push this broadcast out there so you can get these amazing stories and information, because we're all about bringing you truth. Don't forget, folks, if you want to watch the show, you can go on America Matters Media's Facebook page or LinkedIn page and watch it there, or simply go to Zacky Radio on YouTube or Rumble, and make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and follow us across all the platforms. That means Instagram too. We want to hear from you. And with that, well, let's dive into today's episode. California's not dying by accident. It's being murdered, one policy at a time. From exploding insurance rates and dam demolitions to government orchestrated land grabs and globalist urban prisons. What's happening here isn't mismanagement. It's a takedown. And Gavin Newsom, well, he's not fumbling. He's following orders. In this episode, we're pulling back the curtain on Agenda 21's blueprint for California's collapse, exposing how fires, water theft, and skyrocketing costs are all connected in one massive war against freedom, farmers, the middle class. I'm Leo Zacky, and we're not going quietly. You know, California's not dying by accident here. It's being murdered, one policy at a time. And from exploding insurance rates and dam demolitions to government orchestrated land grabs and globalist run urban prisons, what's happening here? It ain't mismanagement. It's a takedown. And Gavin Newsom, well, he's not fumbling. He's following orders. And in this episode, we're pulling back the curtain on Agenda 21 and the blueprint for California's organized collapse, exposing how fires, water theft, and skyrocketing costs are all connected in one massive war against freedom, farmers, and the middle class. I'm Leo Zacky, and we're not going quietly. So our special guest is Jeff Silvester, and over the past 20 years, Jeff has worked across multiple industries, including construction, insurance, and nonprofit advocacy, helping organizations grow, manage risk, and achieve their goals. Jeff, welcome to America Matters, my friend. Thank you so much for being here.
Leo, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk to you and Josh today.
Well, you're a wealth of knowledge. You've got a great diverse background, and you like to help folks.
All things, well, some of those things are true. I do like to help people. I don't know about a wealth of knowledge. We'll see how it goes.
I think you're going to surprise us in a lot of aspects. So let's talk about this first issue here. The insurance extortion that they're disguising as policy. Imagine you wake up one day and your home insurance has doubled again.
Mm-hmm.
Not because you filed a claim, not because your home changed, but because California's FAIR plan, well, it's anything but fair.
So the FAIR plan, it's a last stop. It's the last place you can go to get homeowners insurance in California. And it was created as kind of a stopgap measure so that you could still, get a loan for the home that you want to buy. You have to have insurance in order to get a loan. These banks, they want to protect their assets. So they put these requirements in there. And so the government had to have something where everybody could get insurance. And what they came up with was the most bare bones, the least amount of coverage that you could possibly have in a policy, and offer that to everybody and say, hey, here's what you get. Go ahead and be happy about that. And I would say till about, 5-6 years ago, very few insurance agencies had even had a reason to write any. But in the last 5 or 6 years, it's really blown up to be, for some people, the only option out there.
That's something that we're dealing with here. Because, you lapse your coverage. If you forget, about your insurance coverage, guess what? They drop you. And all you're stuck with is the California Fair Plan. And
Oh yeah, and it's worse than that. You've got California mismanaging the forest systems to where they're creating future fire risk, right? And so let's say that you have a house in Shaver or up in Tahoe or anywhere up in the hills. You might not be able to get an insurance policy for your property.
California is literally setting the playing field for a wildfire to occur anywhere and be hyper disastrous because they're not properly managing the forest. And then what we discovered here now with the Palisades fire, our infrastructure is so just abysmal. It's crumbling. They couldn't even get water to the hydrants. It's just one perpetual government orchestrated failure after the next.
Absolutely. It's inept. It's ineptitude across the board.
Well, I think that's what they want to hide it under. I think it's far more sinister, personally. We're going to continue the conversation with Jeff Silvester, and we got a lot more to talk about. So if you think this agenda ends with city planning and surveillance, you haven't seen what they're doing to California's lifeblood or water. They're not just mismanaging it. They're destroying it on purpose. Dams, rivers, farms. None of it's safe. We'll get back to you after these messages.
Vote for me and all.
Town Mall, we've been accomplishing Happy Feet for over 30 years.
We offer a various range of shoe styles and sizes for both men and women. From all-season shoes and orthotics to work boots and safety shoes, our professional and reliable staff possesses the knowledge to help you find the proper shoes to fit your needs. Hard to fit? Hard to find?
A Proper Fit Footwear is here to give our customers happy feet. We make people aware of potential foot problems as we're sizing their feet, suggesting the right arch support, and guiding them to the proper shoes for their needs.
Stop by a Proper Fit Footwear at 4001 South Virginia Street in the Reno Town Mall today, and allow the owner Mike Jones and our fabulous staff to find the perfect pair of shoes tailored to your specific needs.
A Proper Fit Footwear in the Reno Town Mall, the home of Happy Feet, where comfort and your feet meet.
At Northern Nevada Family Dental, we are proud to announce a wide range of advanced dental services by way of the Photona Lightwalker Laser. The Lightwalker Laser can efficiently and effectively treat most periodontal problems from deep persistent pocketing to peri-implantitis and a multitude of conditions in between. Have cold sores? We can inhibit the cycle of the virus and sometimes even prevent them from occurring. Do you have a snoring or CPAP problem? Through the amazing healing power of light, we can treat tissues inside the mouth without anesthesia, appliances, or cutting, so that after just one treatment, most people sleep better and quieter that same night. By using the power of the laser intraorally, we can also smooth facial wrinkles and tighten sagging necklines, all without you having to be numb, and there's no downtime. It can even be done on a lunch break. Through the FDA-approved Power of Light, these treatments and many more are now available at Northern Nevada Family Dental in Sparks. Have I piqued your interest? Give us a call at 626-7772 or visit us at northernnevadafamilydental.com.
Are you shy and don't...
All right, folks, we are back with America Matters. I'm Leo Zacky with Joshua Matriciana and our guest today, Jeff Silvester. We're so happy to have him on. He's a wealth of knowledge, as you've probably heard in the first segment there. If you missed it, well, you're going to have to go to Zacky Radio and watch it all over again. But we're going to talk about what's going on here with Agenda 21 and the blueprint for California's collapse. So they've told you it was incompetence. Well, it's not. It's a script, and it's called Agenda 21, and Gavin Newsom, well, he's just there reading the lines. The collapse here in California is not mismanagement. It is an intentional part of the UN, that's right, the United Nations Agenda 21, and its modern offspring. Sustainability, scams, and urban containment zones. It's all about control. They want to have control over you, your movement, your bank account, limiting you, making you totally dependent on them and under their thumb. Jeff, what do you see in regards to this?
You know, I see all kinds of stuff out there, but I don't know who to blame other than our elected leaders just really aren't, stepping up to the plate anywhere that I can see. I mean, all I see is Gavin Newsom trying to start his own podcast and failing miserably, I might add. But, I don't see where our elected leaders are really coming to the plate anywhere. Like, am I wrong? Am I missing something?
Nope. I'm definitely disappointed with all the way up and down, not just here in the state, but I mean, at the federal level too. I mean, and yes, I would definitely say some of it is definitely mismanagement and incompetence, but I mean, a lot of it is definitely feeling pretty orchestrated, especially the way a lot of these different factions and different parties just rally behind certain events. And then in other situations, they coalesce and say, no, this is what we got to do. And it's just like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense that you guys are all of a sudden now you're working together. Josh, you see this all the time.
Man, this is my thought on. Here's my hot take. They have this blueprint, Agenda 21. They have been talking about this for a decade, and now we're watching these Governor Newsom do things that we think, from a common sense perspective, we think that's absolutely ludicrous. Why would somebody do that? And yet he's literally following the playbook because his goals are not our goals, and he's getting 5 gold stars for, all of the things that he's doing according to his goals, their goals, the globalist elite Agenda 21 goals, where you own nothing and are happy about it.
And you'll eat the bugs. Yeah, I mean, all this insane stuff here. I mean, talking about 15-minute cities. When you're talking about restricting car travel, and saying, oh well, you should be able to get everything you need within 15 minutes, and you don't need to have a car. And if you do have a car, you need special permission to drive outside of that 15-minute zone, and you're going to have carbon credit scores attached to you and everything you do. I mean, but we've heard these stories before. This isn't just like, oh, we're just making something up. This is stuff that's been discussed openly for at least a decade.
Yeah.
Right. And even in that decade, they can't point to a single example of a successful implementation. I mean,
No.
we've been running high-speed rail for over a decade, and you can't do anything but suffer the imposition of waiting for the road construction signs.
I mean, they're still working on the 5 freeway here in LA, and they've been doing that since I was in high school, man. Still not done.
Yeah, yeah.
And at some point you're like, what other nefarious component is there? Is it money laundering too? I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, it is. Just like they developed the homeless industrial complex here in California. I mean, they're siphoning money out of we the people. And when you have things like mismanagement and wildfires and a cap on insurance and people not being able to get coverage, what happens when they lose their home? Well, they lose probably a vast majority of their wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're in a situation where they're now wholly dependent on that government. And that's the control mechanism. And they want to continuously force people into that and then normalize it, and destroy the rural land use. It's all by design. The end goal is pushing everybody into dense, surveilled urban cores. Because if you've also noticed, if you look at a map of the United States and how they vote, well, where do the Democrats get their voting base from? Well, those dense urban cores.
Yep.
And not from the rural parts, because the rural parts, you look at the map of this 2024 election, I mean, oh my God. How many counties did Trump win? 2,500? And Kamala got what, like 456 or something like that?
Yeah, it was a fraction of his.
Yeah.
But they were all dense urban areas. Just a thought. that might be tied to that.
Jeff, you've had a whole life in insurance back in the day, and
Yeah.
what are your thoughts here when you're seeing the implementations of Agenda 21? We're seeing people being forced out of the rural areas because there are no insurance plans that cover it. I was talking to one of our mutual friends just yesterday, and he was saying, "Look, if my insurance doubles again this year, I'm gonna have to move because I can't afford to live here." How are they using insurance as a tool for this Agenda 21?
So what I see is it at the state level. The insurance commissioner is really making it the most impossible place to do business for the big carriers. And insurance is a for-profit business. It's a we have to both agree to participate in order to have a policy, right? And the insurance companies, they're not forced to come to California and offer insurance policies for us. So if the commissioner makes it so hard for them to do business in this state, they'll just leave. And if you have no insurers in this state, how could you have property unless you can afford to self-insure it? So if you can't insure any of your assets here, you can't get a loan to cover them. You can't get anything. You can't exist here. And the more carriers that they push out of this state, the more people will follow, and they have to go somewhere. They'll go anywhere else where they can get insurance. So if the goal is just minimize the total number of people in California completely, they're going about it the right way. The insurance is a way that they can absolutely drive the middle class right out of the state.
Yeah, but that's what they hate more than anything is the middle class, because the middle class takes away the ruling elite's opportunity to be the only source of sustenance or money or survival, right? And if they don't have that ability to have that total control, then what power do they actually, quote unquote, have in their own minds?
Well, I don't know, because I think they're shooting themselves in the foot, because you're going to go past a certain economic threshold where the state of California can't sustain itself with the level of non-tax paying poor and the number of rich people. Like, you're going to pass a threshold where the state cannot subsist off the rich people that are still sticking around. And you're going to see this place turn into Detroit unless the government takes a serious left turn towards correction and starts to figure out how to entice business to stick around and entice homeowners to invest in California by buying property again.
Absolutely. Get back to this Agenda 21 stuff, just so folks understand what it is and what ICLEI is, it's a non-binding UN resolution that was adopted in 1992. So this is something that's been going on for just a little less than I've been around. And it's been promising a sustainable world through global environmental planning. And, it sounds harmless and great, but, until you realize that ICLEI, the local governments for sustainability and how it spreads, what these programs are calling for are eliminating private property rights in rural areas, enforcing high density urbanization, and then imposing the vehicle restrictions and the 15-minute city designs, where movement is tightly controlled, and ICLEI has partnered with dozens of California cities, including LA, San Francisco, and Santa Monica. And they say it's about saving the planet. But what they're saving is their control. Mm-hmm. These are not climate solutions. These are social engineering tools. Look at the mass exodus that's taking place in California.
Yep.
Millions of people have left.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the housing restrictions. The zoning laws are being rewritten and eliminating single-family homes for the stack and packs. And then you got the water rationing and land use bans. God forbid we should invest in making more infrastructure to capture the water, but no, let's restrict everything and cause scarcity for more control and fear, because fear leads to control. So you strangle the farmers out of the Central Valley with environmental protections, and then the car bans and the road closures and, pushing for legislation to eliminate gas-powered cars. And then you build these lithium battery storage sites all over the state that combust and cause chemical burns and poisoning the environment all around them, because, that makes a whole lot of sense. And And then you got things like SB 1000 in climate resilience districts. These bills allow unelected bureaucrats to draw new climate zones and impose new taxes, mobility rules, and property restrictions. Look, if you control people, and where they can live and how they can move and what they can own and what they can say, well, you control everything. And guess what, folks? That ain't freedom. It's digital feudalism.
Sounds like socialism and communism to me. I mean, I don't want to bring up the big C word, but
communism, California, control. Yeah.
I mean, you want to take away my property rights? Like, people that want to control every aspect of your life want to take away your property rights. Like, that's not a benevolent leadership. That's totalitarianism.
And that's exactly what we're facing here in the nanny state of California.
Right.
The end game here is total control, and California is the pilot project, and they want to export these policies nationwide. These 15-minute cities are being tested as feel-good climate solutions, but come on. The real goal is permanent surveillance and restricted movement. They've been doing this in the UK. We're on to them.
And it's never going to work. Like, it's never has worked. Like, the 15-minute cities, that's not where this country was founded. That's not what we're based on. Like, it's never going to happen.
Yeah, but it's the powers that be. Look at the COVID lockdowns, right? That was the dry run. Now they want to make it permanent. And with climate zones instead of curfews, QR codes instead of passports, housing pods instead of homes. Look, folks, it is a slippery slope. So,
right.
Look, the lie is it's all about safety, and the truth is it's about submission. So, this is how you turn citizens into subjects. One building code, one water restriction, one zoning law at a time. So, Agenda 21, ICLEI, climate resilient zones, 15-minute cities. Learn these names, folks, because they're the enemy's playbook. They don't want you to know the plan, but I just gave it to you. And now it's your move. I'm Leo Zacky, and I'm fighting to shut down all of it. I'm here to fight for your freedom, for your land, and for the future of California. I'd love it if you could join me. So, folks, wake up! This ain't a bad dream. It's carefully constructed nightmare, and we're the lab rats. But not on Leo Zacky's watch. So, we're going to take our bottom of the hour break here on America Matters. When we get back, we're going to continue the conversation. I'm Leo Zacky with Josh Matriciana and our guest, Jeff Silvester, today. We'll be right back.
Out there. Whether you have a small business or work from home, LaRue Press offers a virtual office and business address for all your business needs. Located at 280 Gregg Street, Suite 10, LaRue Press is your personal assistant for friendly all-day service. Need a conference room to meet with clients? You got it. With LaRue Press, you also get phone answering service, mail forwarding, package pickup, and even help branding your business. Call LaRue Press at 849-3814 or go online to lrpnv.com.
Have you been injured in an accident? Trust Adriana Guzman-Freilich at AGF Law, your local personal injury law firm in Reno. At AGF Law, we pride ourselves on being honest, hardworking, and ethical. Let's meet in person to understand your case and fight for your rights. Located near South Virginia and Plum, we're always ready to help. Don't navigate the aftermath of an accident alone. Call Adriana at 775-453-9595 or visit adrianalegal.com. Your recovery is our priority, and we're committed to getting you the justice you deserve.
I used to love going for long walks, but my back just doesn't cooperate like it used to.
Same here. But ever since I started a routine with Active Life Integrated Health on Moana Lane, I feel more flexible and in control. You should check them out.
This is Dr. Tom Waldorf. Let's make it happen so you can feel better naturally. To schedule the beginning of your transformation, call 775-842-0065 or visit activelifereno.com online.
Barbecue, the Butcher's Kitchen, would like to thank every customer for your loyalty and continued support through these challenging times. Call for takeout and delivery of rib tips, brisket, ahi, tuna, roasted veggies, and much more. Barbecue's open from 11 to 7, Monday through Saturday, and delivers hot food safe and healthy. Call 499-5855 for details. 499-5855 Barbecue, as featured on diners, drive-ins, and dives. Get real. Get into Barbecue Reno.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-00 TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now back to the show.
All right, folks, we are back with America Matters. I'm Leo Zacky with Joshua Matriciana. We had Jeff Silvester on with us earlier. He had to go. He had another appointment. Busy guy. Wealth of knowledge. Glad to have had him. But I wanted to move on to the next subject here because water and, well, the farmland in rural California, it's got a special place here in my heart. Kind of lived it. Kind of worked it. So I understand how important it is to the state. It's really the lifeblood of this state. But what's going on here with our current woke leadership is that they're destroying another dam in a drought-ridden state. And this isn't stupid. It's sabotage. I mean, we know it's dumb, but this is done on purpose. You know, California is tearing down a perfectly functional dam like those up on the Klamath River under the guise of environmental justice. Bring the salmon back for the 300 Native Americans there so they can fish. What about the water storage? What about the power? What about the, I don't know, almost 40 million people that live in the state? Screw them, right? Well, these projects are backed by a $1 billion NGO organization and radical environmentalists with, of course, zero accountability to the people and all their accountability to their feelings and the planet, because we are a scourge upon this beautiful place, and we are the cancer and the poison, and we must flog ourselves and make life difficult for us because we are so sensitive to the planet's screams. So, meanwhile, farmers can't irrigate, towns are drying up, and the Central Valley is becoming a friggin' desert. And this ain't about saving the fish. It's about eliminating human independence, especially in rural areas. Because as a farmer and someone who's seen our water system destroyed by ideologues, I know what's really at stake. This is a war on food and freedom and your future. And without water, there ain't no life. There's no farming. There's no freedom. And we're not going to let Sacramento flush our future down the river and out to sea. I mean, this is a big personal issue for me here, Josh. I mean, Look what happened here in LA. The fact that we didn't have enough water to put out the fires. Dude, we almost lost our homes.
Yeah.
And we have friends that lost their homes.
Absolutely.
And that's the urban area. But the fact that farmers are being forced out of business after 5, 6, 7 generations, hell, maybe even more. You know, they've had 50, 100, 200 acres in their family forever, growing nuts or citrus or, grapes or whatever. And they don't have the water to raise enough crops. And therefore they don't make enough money. They go out of business.
You brought this point up, and unfortunately, this is a consistent theme. And we can look, I know you love your history, and you can look back in the past and know that these are tactics of warfare. This is not a benevolent government trying to make the lives of its citizens better. This is an oppressive force that is in opposition against liberty, and we're watching it play out. In our lifetime, it's getting worse and worse and worse. They're encroaching on our liberties, and they're doing it in ways that literally are tactics of warfare, drying them out, flushing them out, burning them out, scorched earth, raising the rate so it's impossible for them to maintain, because it is the middle class that is the biggest threat to the ruling elites. They want complete dominance.
That's all it is. It's always been about control. And guess what? Middle class is waking up to that, folks. That's what happened here in the most recent election in 2024. The Republican Party just became the blue-collar worker's friend because common sense is what everybody wants. And that's what the Republican Party's bringing. And that's why I'm running as one. So they go on.
It's an interesting thing because what we saw in this last election was it wasn't the Democrats versus the Republicans. Yes, it was in name only. It was the Americans who love their liberty versus the autocrats, the totalitarian, and the sheep. Those are the two. And you saw so many people moving from the Democrat Party and joining the ranks of the Republicans, not because we've seen Americans uniting and we recognized, oh my gosh, this is America versus globalist. This is our personal liberty versus a totalitarian regime that wants nothing more than to destroy our country by, removing the borders, by, allowing, outside influence, outside countries to have influence over our political system. That's what Americans have woken up to, thank God. And they've started fighting this war at the polls.
Oh yeah. And the tactics they've been using. I mean, look, when they can't dry you out, they just burn you out. Fires used to be a tragedy. Now they feel like a tactic. Yep. And what's happening in Malibu, it's not just misfortune. It's 100% manipulation. I mean, let's talk about fire, fear, and the fine print of land theft. We're watching that take place, but I mean, it gets worse. I mean, California has literally just completed the largest dam removal project in U.S. history, tearing down four hydroelectric dams on the Klamath River. Okay, that's Copco number 1, Copco number 2, J.C. Boyle, and Iron Gate. Okay, don't we have rolling blackouts and brownouts in this state, Josh? Don't we have a water shortage in this state, Josh? Why on God's green earth would this somehow be a gotta do project?
Not only a gotta do project, but one of the very few things that the government did ahead of schedule.
Oh, whoa! You're telling me a government that is so like habitually way late on their timetables got this one done ahead of schedule?
I mean, it's like it's like Newsom cleaning up the streets of San Francisco right before his eminence from China.
Xi Jinping.
I mean, when properly motivated, look, governments are able to do miraculous things when properly motivated. When they're aligned, when their viewpoints align with, when they're properly motivated, that's the point. But why pull out all of these dams to save the salmon?
No, to bring them back.
It makes me sick.
Well,
it really
apparently to bring them back. Who knows if they're actually going to go back?
Right. I mean, that's the reason, the quote unquote reason they're doing it. It's like, oh, we're going to save the environment. Oh, hey, you don't need power. You don't need heat. You don't need a house. You don't need the comforts.
No, you don't need water. Yeah, that's right. The fish.
Do they think
save
that we're
the birds, save the bees, save the forest, save the trees? But screw the people. That's what they're doing.
Not on Leo Zacky's watch.
Hell no. Not on my watch. This stuff is out of control, and you should be at least half as mad as I am, because I am really restraining myself because of the FCC right now. Look, people are not able to sustain. Communities are going to become ghost towns. This is out of control, man. Like, without water, there's no life. There's no farming. There's no food. And there's certainly no freedom. Okay? And newsflash, folks, your food doesn't just magically appear on the grocery store shelves. Okay? It comes from hardworking people in places like the Central Valley that are working the land, that are raising those crops and then harvesting them and delivering them to those stores so you can eat them. And all you got to do is take out your little credit card, or hell, just use your phone and beep, and now it's yours. Wow. But you would totally look past that if you didn't know how the reality of, well, the world works. And most people in urban areas don't, especially those who have been completely indoctrinated with the woke ideology of that somehow we are the poison on the planet. No, we are not the poison on the planet. We came from the earth. We are one with the earth. The earth wants us to raise the crops. The earth wants us to do well. And God wants that too. So look, just because today it's the Klamath River, tomorrow it could be your neighborhood, your neck of the woods. You know, when they can't dry you out, they're going to burn you out. That's what they're doing.
I mean, just look at the Maui fires, man.
Need your help. Please consider supporting me in this race and making a small contribution at leozacki.com. But more importantly, tell your friends, your family, you found the guy for the job. Share my stuff on social media. I hate having to ask like this, but I ain't got a choice. When I see articles about this, it gets me fired up. And that's why I'm sharing this information with you. You should be upset about this too. So, Josh, we're going to take our last break here on America Matters. When we get back, we're going to talk about fires, eminent domain, and land theft here in the Malibu area. I'm Leo Zacky with Josh Matriciana. This is America Matters. We'll be right back.
Fit Footwear in the Reno Town Mall, we've been accomplishing happy feet for over 30 years.
We offer a various range of shoe styles and sizes for both men and women. From all-season shoes and orthotics to work boots and safety shoes, our professional and reliable staff possesses the knowledge to help you find the proper shoes to fit your needs. Hard to fit? Hard to find?
A Proper Fit Footwear is here to give our customers happy feet. We make people aware of potential foot problems as we're sizing their feet, suggesting the right arch support, and guiding them to the proper shoes for their needs.
Stop by a Proper Fit Footwear at 4001 South Virginia Street in the Reno Town Mall today, and allow the owner Mike Jones and our fabulous staff to find the perfect pair of shoes tailored to your specific needs.
A Proper Fit Footwear in the Reno Town Mall, the home of happy feet, where comfort and your feet meet.
Ah, I used to love going for long walks, but my back just doesn't cooperate like it used to.
Same here. But ever since I started a routine with active life integrated health on Moana Lane, I feel more flexible and in control. You should check them out.
This is Dr. Tom Waldorf. Let's make it happen so you can feel better naturally. To schedule the beginning of your transformation, call 775-842-0065 or visit activelifereno.com online.
Can you define the 4 different parts of Medicare? Do you have Medicare prescription drug gap coverage? At Nevada Senior Advisors, we will walk through the different parts of Medicare, including Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplement, Part D prescription drug plans to help you determine which option is right for you. Visit nvsenioradvisors.com, call 775-674-2223 to set up an appointment. Nevada Senior Advisors is not affiliated with or endorsed by the federal Medicare program or any other government agency. Calling this number will direct you to a licensed sales agent.
Want to expand your advertising dollar? Sponsor this or any America Matters program by calling 775-827-8900 extension.
All right, folks, we are back with America Matters. I'm Leo Zacky with Joshua Matriciana. And, well, we're going to talk about a lot of things. I mean, just the land grabs, the theft, the water shortages, the corruption, the Agenda 21, the globalist plan. But I wanted to talk to you guys now about what's going on here locally, not far from me in Malibu. You know, what if I told you the government didn't just let the fire happen? Okay, they needed them to happen. And that the wildfires, far from being random acts of nature, are followed by land grabs, eminent domain seizures, and the suspicious enrichment of politically connected developers. Well, you'd say it sounds like a conspiracy theory. But the truth? Well, it's not a theory. It's a pattern. And it's playing out right now in places like Malibu. So we're told these fires are natural disasters. But then you ask yourself, why do they happen in strategic real estate zones? Why are some of these properties spared and others burned to ash? Why do buyouts, state seizures, and zoning changes happen immediately after the smoke clears? I don't know. Well, actually, I do. It's because they're doing this on purpose. And
Yeah.
Malibu is just a test case. These fires ravage neighborhoods, and the locals are displaced and emotionally devastated. My friends are without their homes. Okay, places I've grown up are completely destroyed, and it's not just the neighborhoods; it's the beaches too. I mean,
Yep.
you're not going to the beach this summer. I keep telling you, folks, do not go to the beach in LA. It is filthy from all the burned out homes, from the asbestos and the plastics, the insulation, and just all the crap that's been rained on multiple times, because don't forget, it actually rains. Environmentalists will have you think it doesn't here. And that washes out to the sea, and then you got dead whales washing up on shore, and dead
Yep.
seals and dead birds, and these nasty toxic slicks of floating just debris, and that's lapping up on shore. So yeah, it's pretty dangerous and dirty, Josh.
But Leo, you and I have literally gone out there and we've filmed these areas. This isn't hyperbole. This is not stuff that we're finding out secondhand. You've literally gone there. You've seen the dead birds on the beach. You've seen the fish that have been washed up. You've seen the ash that's mixed in with the sand. You've walked through the burned out remains of these multi-million-dollar, beautiful, what were once beautiful mansions in the Palisades, in Malibu, in Pasadena, Altadena. You've been there. You've seen it with your own two eyes, and you had to do that not only because you live in this area and you're daily affected by this, but because you know now how to relate to the people who've lost everything. You've seen it. You've walked through it. I don't see any other politicians or any other people who are running, for elected positions that actually spend that kind of extra time to go out and see. You talked with the neighbors. You brought some of the neighbors who stuck out there. You brought them coolers with ice. You've talked to the firefighters that were on the front lines. I have video of this. I was there with you. I saw, you interacting with them. And that's where I see this massive disconnect. You've got these guys like Governor Newsom, who's, wheeling and dealing behind the scenes saying, oh, yeah, let's burn out that neighbor and then we'll just go in and buy it and we'll make that 20, we'll do that 15-minute city, rubbing his hands like a psychopath.
Well, because he's a psychopath, but yeah. Look, it's out of control. This is by design. And we've seen this happen in other beautiful parts too. I mean, look at Paradise. Look at Santa Rosa, Lake Arrowhead, Ojai. I mean, these are all very, very amazingly beautiful, iconic places here in the state of California. But you find the one common outcome in these situations: families lose land and developers gain it. First they scorch the earth, then they offer you pennies for it. And if you don't sell it, guess what? They take it. I mean, these people are being offered lot value for these once multi-million-dollar properties that they either worked their butt off for or made a very smart decision and bought a long, long time ago, or you know what? God bless them, inherited. And ain't nothing wrong with that. But they're losing it. So this eminent domain is the tool of tyrants.
Yeah.
Look, don't get me wrong, there are very, very specific instances where eminent domain makes sense. But when you're talking about swaths of neighborhoods, no. Especially after disaster too. I mean, that's the other thing. Eminent domain was meant to serve the public good. But in a modern California, it's being used to reshape entire communities. The state declares, it's unfit for rebuilding, and then says you got to go elsewhere. What? How about you just manage the forest? How about you have enough water? Was fine before. Now it's not okay? Well, fuel's gone. What's wrong with it now? In Malibu, properties destroyed by fire are being reassessed for climate resilient development zones, which are often tied to the ICLEI and Agenda 21 goals. But developers tied to the state and climate NGOs, guess what? They often get first look at the land. It's not speculation, okay? SB 1000 and AB 1757 and new climate justice, zoning overlays give unelected boards power to rezone and seize private property. You lose everything. They show up with a clipboard and a smile. Sorry about your home, folks. Here's an offer you can't refuse. It's not recovery. It's replacement.
Yeah.
Okay. Why are we pretending that these patterns, aren't coincidences? Why do people continue to do that, Josh?
It's look, it's not a conspiracy, man. It's a business model.
It's a theory. Conspiracy is people get. Yeah, go on.
It's not a conspiracy theory. It's a business model. Yeah, there's a conspiracy to take everything from you. That's what it is.
Yeah, two or more people getting together to do something nefarious. That's conspiracy. Okay. I mean, it's like, how many coincidences does it take to stop being a coincidence? You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's just a setup. I don't know. But, I mean, apparently people just really are suffering from cognitive dissonance. We watched this with the scamdemic, and people just, like, turning a blind eye to freaking basic facts. But, I mean, this is getting egregious,
It's people who are benefiting. It's cronyism. That's what we're seeing it. We're seeing these people, the people in charge, as I like to count from that famous movie. Actually, maybe not that famous, but
The
movie
Network?
called. I was going to say a Risk Cutter. Risk Cutter is a love story. They always talk about the PIC, right? The people in charge.
Another great movie.
It's a PIC, man. Who's the people in charge here? Well, they don't have your best influence. They don't have your best intentions for you.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But there's more to this story. Unfortunately, we're watching it unfold right before our eyes. We're seeing it happen to our neighbors. We're seeing it happen to our friends. It's happening, and what are we going to do to push back against it? First step is awareness. Right?
Yeah,
know that it's happening.
100%.
You're not crazy. You see it with your own two eyes. If the government tells you the sky is orange or yellow or purple or green, and you're like, no, it's not. It's blue. That's the first step.
Don't
I'm not
believe
crazy.
your lying eyes. That's conspiracy theory. No. Look, this land, okay, it doesn't belong to Sacramento, okay? It belongs to you. Okay, the American homeowner, the rancher, the retiree, the single mom, the firefighter, the dreamer who poured your life into a patch of dirt in a front porch. I'm going to fight like hell to protect that. Okay? No more backdoor land seizures, no more weaponized fires, no more climate zoning to erase towns and make climate corridors. This is ridiculous. Look. First, they burn it. Then, they steal it. But they forgot one thing. We're not going anywhere, okay? This is our home, and we're going to fight for it. And I'm here not to manage California's decline. I'm here to end the decline. If you're sick of being lied to, priced out, and pushed around, well, guess what? It's time to fight back, folks. Please share this episode. Join the movement, and let's take our state back. We don't need to suffer under this any longer. Common sense. I'm inviting it back in for an encore, baby. We need it. This environmental wokeism is holding us back. It's limiting our progress, and it's destroying everything that you work hard for. They drain your bank account, they steal your land, and they tell you, it's all in the name of saving the planet. Well, you know what? I'm all in the name of saving this state and saving your money and saving your quality of life and enriching it. That's what we're going to do. This stuff gets me really impassioned here, folks. This is why I'm in the fight, and I hope you recognize that. And I thank all of you for tuning in to America Matters today. This has been another great episode. Josh, thank you so much for joining us. And we'll see all of you next time on America Matters. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you then.
For one nation